When we talk about a true legacy character, we are talking about Laura. She is the beating heart of this city, the moral compass that has guided so many lost souls back to the light. Over the years, we have watched her evolve from a vulnerable young woman into a formidable leader, a mayor who fights tirelessly for the people she loves. Her life has been a tapestry of immense tragedy and breathtaking triumphs. After everything she has endured, she finally found a safe harbor. She built a beautiful, stable life with Kevin, forming a mature super couple that gives so many of us veteran viewers hope. Together, they have taken on the responsibility of raising little Ace, providing that innocent child with the loving, secure home he so desperately needs. They represent the quiet, enduring love that we all cherish. But in the world of long-term storytelling, peace is often just the calm before a devastating storm. Recently, we have seen Laura working closely with Willow on a new, highly publicized free childcare initiative. On the surface, this looks like a wonderful, heartwarming project. It is exactly the kind of humanitarian effort that a dedicated mayor would champion to support the struggling families in her city. Initially, I noticed that Laura was quite hesitant to fully trust Willow. There was a natural, wise caution in her eyes, born from years of dealing with manipulative people. However, Willow has been putting on a absolute masterclass in public relations. She has presented herself as the ultimate saintly figure, a devoted mother who only wants to give back to the community. Slowly but surely, she has chipped away at Laura's defenses. The initiative is gaining massive popularity, and it is clear that this project could easily pave the way for Willow to gain significant political influence, perhaps even securing a congressional seat in the future. But if you ask me, there is something deeply unsettling lingering just beneath this perfect facade. I cannot shake the feeling that we are being set up for one of the most heartbreaking betrayals in recent memory. What if this entire childcare initiative, this whole saintly mother routine, is nothing more than a brilliantly constructed Trojan horse? While the rest of the town looks at Willow and sees a gentle soul trying to rebuild her life, I strongly suspect she has been secretly building an organization of her own. We have to consider the possibility that she is quietly gathering loyal allies, accumulating vast amounts of dark money, and expanding a hidden network of influence right under the mayor's nose. The implications of this theory are absolutely terrifying. I have begun to suspect that Willow's secret power might already rival the vast criminal empire once controlled by Jens. In fact, a much darker thought has crossed my mind. What if Jens, before his recent downfall and disappearance from the canvas, secretly handed over the reins of his entire operation to Willow? It sounds unthinkable at first, but when you look at the sheer calculated precision of her recent moves, it begins to make a frightening amount of sense. If she is indeed the new head of this Shadow Empire, she does not just possess political ambition. She possesses limitless resources and a small army of dangerous individuals who will execute her every command without hesitation. This brings us to the critical issue of character integrity. For years, we knew Willow as a victim, a survivor of a horrific cult who fought desperately to protect her children. To see her potentially transform into a ruthless, calculating mastermind feels like a massive shift. Some might argue that the writers are destroying her character integrity, but as a veteran viewer, I see it differently. Sometimes, the most terrifying villains are born from profound trauma. Perhaps her past has warped her mind, convincing her that the only way to truly protect her family is to control absolutely everything and everyone around her. If she has fully embraced the dark power left behind by Jens, she is no longer a victim. She's the most dangerous kind of predator, one who hides in plain sight behind a warm smile and a clipboard. If my suspicions are correct, the trap has already been set, and the victims have already been chosen. I am filled with dread at the thought of what is coming for Kevin and Little Ace. They are Laura's entire world, her ultimate vulnerability. If Willow truly wants to control the city, she knows she cannot defeat the mayor in a fair political fight. Laura is too beloved, too strong, and too intelligent. But if Willow's new organization were to strike at Laura's heart, the battle would be over before it even began. I strongly suspect that we are heading toward a storyline where Kevin and Ace are targeted, perhaps abducted while they are traveling out of town. Imagine the sheer psychological horror of that scenario. Laura, sitting in her office, receiving a message that her beloved husband and her innocent grandson have vanished without a trace. The agonizing silence, the frantic searches, the crushing realization that the people she loves most are in the hands of ruthless criminals. And then the final devastating twist of the knife, the realization that the person pulling the strings is the very woman she has been standing next to at press conferences, the woman she welcomed into her confidence, the woman she trusted to help the children of their city. This is where the true cruelty of the writer's potential plan comes into focus. If Willow's forces are holding Kevin and Ace, she will have absolute leverage over Laura. This would not just be a simple kidnapping for ransom. This would be a hostile takeover of the city's government. I can see the scenes playing out in my mind with crystal clarity. Willow, sitting across from Laura, her voice soft and sweet as ever, quietly dictating the terms of her family's survival. She would force Laura to publicly support her political assent, ensuring that no one ever questions her motives. She would turn the beloved mayor into a puppet, dancing on the strings of a hidden empire. Even more disturbing is the possibility that Willow might use this leverage to demand official leniency or a full pardon for Jens. If she owes her new empire to him, or if she still needs his connections, forcing the mayor to facilitate his release would be the ultimate display of her new power. It would be a complete corruption of everything Laura has spent her life fighting for. To save her husband and her grandson, she would have to betray her city, her oath of office, and her own deeply held moral convictions. It is a choice no human being should ever have to make, let alone a woman who has already sacrificed so much for the greater good. As a viewer who remembers the intricate, emotionally devastating plots of the 80s and 90s, I have to admit that this storyline, while heartbreaking, is a masterstroke of long-term storytelling. It takes years of character history, unresolved trauma, and shifting alliances, and weaves them into a narrative that fundamentally changes the landscape of the show. We are watching the birth of a terrifying new antagonist. Willow is shedding the skin of the innocent victim and emerging as a cold, calculating queenpin. She is utilizing politics, immense wealth, and the paralyzing grip of fear to conquer the city from within. And she is doing it all while maintaining the flawless image of a civic-minded hero. For Laura, this will be the fight of her life. She will be forced to navigate a nightmare where the law cannot protect her, where the police are completely unaware of the true threat, and where her every move is monitored by the woman she thought was her ally. She will have to look deep within herself, tapping into the survival instincts that kept her alive on those remote islands decades ago. She will have to play a deadly game of chess against an opponent who has no rules, no boundaries, and no mercy. The emotional toll on her will be immense, and as a fan who has loved her for decades, it'll be incredibly painful to watch her suffer. Yet, this is the very essence of why we watch daytime drama. We watch to see the resilience of the human spirit. We watch to see how our beloved characters respond when everything they hold dear is stripped away. If Kevin and Ace are taken, Lara will face the darkest night of her soul. She will have to decide whether to uphold the law and protect the city she loves, or to burn it all down to save her family from a completely unrecognizable Willow. It is a storyline that promises incredible performances, profound emotional depth, and stakes that feel genuinely life-altering. In conclusion, while the prospect of this storyline fills me with anxiety for my favorite characters, it also reignites that deep, abiding passion I have always had for this show. We have weathered countless storms alongside these families. We have mourned their losses, celebrated their victories, and stood by them through every unbelievable twist of fate. If the writers are truly taking us down this dark, treacherous path, I know that we, the veteran viewers, will be right here, watching every moment with bated breath. We will hold on to the hope that, eventually, the light will pierce through the darkness, and our legacy heroine will find a way to outsmart the monster, hiding in plain sight. Until then, we must brace ourselves for the heartbreak, trusting that the journey, no matter how painful, will be an unforgettable chapter in the history of our beloved town.